I'll be using this pattern for the skirt. I've had it for quite a few years now. It's a favourite pattern. I like the way the A-line sits and I've adapted it for many different styles. I'm starting with the back seam and adding in the zip. I find it easier to add in the zip with the back being flat. Sew the seam and iron it flat. Turn over the seam allowance for the zip and press it. Line up the zip and pin it in place. I use a running stitch to hand baste the seam. It holds the zip in place while I'm sewing so it doesn't slide around. Once it's sewn, I unpick the basting. And it's time to sew the other seams. I always sew top to bottom. One of the great things about sewing my own skirts is I can add pockets. I add mine to the side seams, so I pin the part that will be the opening to the pocket to the actual side seam. Sew this section, but leave a bit at the bottom, which is the equivalent of a seam's width. Open and iron flat. Next, pin around the round section of the pocket. Where the bit finished near the seam, you butt that up to the side seam and only sew this round part as far as that. So you're stopping about, well, I use 1.5 centimetres seams, so I'm stopping 1.5 centimetres from the end. Once that's sewn, I flip it over and I start pinning the side seam at that exact same spot that I finished. So you're actually leaving the top of the side seam open so you can put your hand into the pocket. And sew. And there you have it, pockets. I do both, one in each side, and I've made mine deep enough to fit in a mobile phone or a purse. Most of you have done waistbands. I pin the ends and the centre, and then I go pin around. Don't forget to add in the pleats at the back as you go. I always check the zip works before I sew up, just in case. You can see the pleats here. I probably put them a little bit too far apart. I meant to put them closer together at the back, but yeah, that's it. Pin up the hem, and I prefer to hand sew hems. It's just a preference of mine, probably again due to all the historical costuming I've done. I decided to decorate the bottom of the hem with a couple of pintucks. It's a common method used in 16th century Florentine, which I've done a lot. I can also use it to lengthen or shorten the hem. I initially did one pintuck, but the skirt was too long. I wanted something a bit shorter that I could walk around in and not drag for everyday wear. I initially only did one pin tuck, but the skirt was too long, and you'll see that in the reveal, and I went back later and added a second pin tuck. So pin all the way around, sew it, and then iron it flat to give a nice crisp knife edge. And this is the finished hem with the one pin tuck that I mentioned first of all. And the pockets, yay pockets! And the final reveal. The original photo only has the one pin tuck.